Today we got a Thor Outlaw toy hauler. So this is a V10. This is built on the 26K GVWR F53 chassis. And there's a few things you need to keep in mind about the Thor Outlaw toy hauler setup on the F53 that really change what you can do as far as rear suspension upgrades. So Thor puts all of this added box tubing in, which is just added support structure related to the garage in the back. And what that means is it really limits your upgrade capabilities on that in terms of what will fit. So for one thing, we are still able to do the SS203 rear anti-sway bar. So we replaced the 1.5 inch factory bar with an 1.75 inch heat-treated bar. We do have for the 24-26K V10 F53 chassis, the SS102, which is a 2-inch heat-treated bar, but that would not fit because of this box tubing. Its moment arms are a little bit longer. So that's one thing that's unique on this setup. The other is the rear track bar. So normally this would take our SS525 rear track bar. In this case, the standard one would not fit because of this plate. Usually you'd have a pinch bracket that would go around the frame right there. And that will not fit because of that plate. So what we did here is made use of the 2 bolts that hold the bump stop onto the frame. So we have a different frame bracket and we just have to enlarge those holes. So you're starting with an existing hole and enlarging it. You're not having to drill a new hole through the frame. So a little bit of a different setup there, but still not too bad. And then where it attaches to the diff, that's all the same. So that way you can still have that rear track bar controlling that tail wag, improving your stability in side winds, which these toy haulers have a really tall profile because of that rear garage. So anything you can do to control that side-to-side shift really does help. And then we've got our Evo Koni shocks in the back, the 9905 1029. Normally on a 24-26K F53, we would also recommend the Roadmaster rear auxiliary anti-sway bar. However, again, because this is a toy hauler, all of this structure is in the way of where the end link would typically connect to the frame. So the 1139-212 and the 1139-149, those are the 2 rear auxiliary anti-sway bars. Neither one of those fits with it being a toy hauler. So that's where it's still very beneficial that we could do the SS203 OE replacement rear sway bar. The Koni Evo shocks are gonna help. We also have the available, not installed in this case, but an OE replacement rear SumoSpring kit that replaces the bump stops with a smaller SumoSpring that can give you a little bit more control and support as well. That's optional on the V10 F53 toy haulers. On the V8, if you want to do the rear track bar, in that case, we actually do have to remove the factory bump stop because Ford went to a new style of cast bracket that will not work with our track bar bracket. So in that case, we actually combine those two to get you both that tail wag control and the added support from those Sumo springs. So, all right, now that we've covered all the upgrades on the back, let's go on and take a look at the front suspension. So up here, basically we've got a standard F53 24-26K front suspension. So we've got the Safety Plus steering control. That's going to provide your tire blowout protection as well as better return to center, more positive center point. That is what's nice about the Safety Plus is it helps you maintain control should that front tire blowout situation ever happen, but also it does really improve your drivability every day. From a control standpoint, we've got our Koni Evo shocks, the 9905-1028. I do want to highlight from a stability standpoint is this SS219 front anti-sway bar. So this is a 2 1/8 inch heat-treated front bar. It does come with heavy-duty end links. So for comparison's sake, the F53 V8s, 2020 and newer, those come with a 2-inch front bar. We've actually gone bigger than what the new V8s are coming with, and it's heat treated. Really does provide a lot of sway control, and that's really going to help us out a lot, especially considering we weren't able to do quite as much rear sway control upgrades as what we would have on a typical F53 that's not a toy hauler. And then last, but certainly not least from a steering standpoint, we've got our SS403 radius rods, and those really work nicely to cut down the sawing at the wheel you may feel and just improve your steering response. Check out a few videos we've done on those as well. So with all of that, the ride, handling, control, steering, all of that of this Thor Outlaw toy hauler should really be transformed. And if you've got one of these coaches, a Thor Outlaw toy hauler or any kind of F53, really any kind of motorhome at all, definitely encourage you to reach out to us if you need any help with improving its control, making it drive, steer, handle better. You can reach us 888-898-3281, supersteerparts.com. You can also reach Henderson's lineup, the shop side, 541-479-2882, hendersonslineup.com. And until next time, we want to wish you safer and happier driving. Thank you.